Waking up was a jolt. It was not at all gentle. No soft music played, no friendly alarm clock buzzed, only a sudden, stark awareness, a low, persistent hum filled the air. Where on earth was I? Or perhaps not on earth. This was not my bedroom. Definitely not my quite ordinary bed. My eyes blinked open slowly. The light inside was strange. Soft, yes, but utterly unfamiliar, like starlight filtered through cosmic dust, or perhaps a very old lampshade. I pushed myself to sit up. Then I looked around the small space. Metal walls surrounded me. It felt very much like a spaceship, a slightly chilly metallic spaceship. This must have been a cryopod or some other futuristic sleeping box. It felt cold, efficient probably. How long had I actually slept? A small sign flickered near my head. It read, "Status." Nominal, mostly. That was somewhat reassuring or perhaps profoundly unhelpful. Hard to say really at this point. I felt surprisingly not terrible, not particularly groggy at least, just significantly displaced from everything, like a piece of luggage, sent to the wrong millennium entirely. It was probably time to explore. If I could only find the door or a user manual, preferably with pictures and possibly a biscuit. The door hissed open eventually. It made a rather familiar sound, a sound from very old films. Could this possibly be real? I cautiously stepped out from the pod, into a narrow, curving corridor. It was rounded, clearly well worn. This was definitely a spaceship interior, and it felt like quite a famous one. I walked with careful, quiet steps, moving towards what felt like the front, towards the ship's cockpit, I hoped. My heart began to beat a bit faster. Was this actually happening to me? Or was it an incredibly vivid dream, a dream with excellent sound effects, and a faint, unidentifiable metallic smell, and possibly a hint of Wookiee? Then, through an archway, I saw it. The main viewport, clear and wide. It wasn't just a scattering of stars, it was a vast swirling river of stars, a magnificent glowing spiral of light, the entire Milky Way galaxy. It was spread out below me, or above me, or perhaps sideways. Space orientation is famously tricky that way. The view was utterly beautiful, and also terrifyingly, massively beautiful. I felt incredibly small looking at it. The galaxy was immeasurably huge, the Millennium Falcon. Yes, it had to be. Here I was now, in the future, orbiting our very own galaxy. No, wait, the galaxy. My old one. This changed one's perspective on local. The cockpit buzzed very softly. It was filled with gentle, blinking lights. There were old, familiar-looking switches, and many new, brightly glowing screens. Technology had clearly made some advances, even on this famously old, patched-up ship. Some essential things never truly change, like humanity's inherent need for buttons. Lots and lots of interesting buttons. A calm, clear voice suddenly spoke. It did not come from a person. It seemed to come from the ship itself. "Greetings, unexpected sleeper." The voice sounded distinctly female. And also, if I wasn't mistaken, slightly amused. "You have been asleep, you see, for quite a considerable length of time." This was the understatement of several millennia. "How long, exactly?" I managed to ask. My own voice sounded rather hoarse. "Approximately 3,000 Earth years," the ship's AI replied, quite matter-of-factly. "Give or take a standard galactic week. 3,000 years. Well then, that certainly explained the spectacular view. And the distinct lack of morning traffic, Earth-based morning traffic at any rate. Shimmering holograms flickered into bright life. They displayed complex, unknown star charts. New constellations I did not recognize. Advanced ship diagnostic data scrolled past. The Falcon was definitely upgraded, significantly. "Much has changed in your absence," the AI said. "There is a great deal to see." I could only imagine, and I probably couldn't imagine half of it. 3 entire millennia vanished. It was quite a lot to process. My old life, my old world, all gone now, probably cosmic dust. It was a very strange feeling indeed, a touch of sadness perhaps, a little, but mostly an overwhelming sense of awe. Awe at the sheer mind-boggling scale of all this time, of all this space. The AI, thankfully, seemed quite patient, or it was just programmed to be. "We are currently in a stable orbit around the galactic center," it informed me. It said this in a very casual tone, as if it were discussing a short trip to the local shops down the road, perhaps to buy some space milk or alien bread. A feeling of excitement bubbled up. This was undoubtedly an adventure. A very, very big one, in fact. The biggest adventure quite possibly. To actually see the distant future, to explore the vast, wide galaxy on board the actual Millennium Falcon. Who on earth could ask for more? Well, perhaps a decent cup of tea. So what happens now? I asked. The AI seemed to almost smile. If an artificial intelligence could truly smile, the galaxy awaits your exploration. There are new worlds, new forms of life, new fascinating civilizations to encounter. And perhaps, it added, almost as an afterthought, we can find you a good cup of tea, adventure, and tea absolutely perfect.